Well, unfortunately, what we're dealing with right now is the fallout of a lot of dysfunction that's been going on for a long time with not just the personnel at the NRA, but really the structure and the strategies that they've been using. And the number of American gun owners that are members of the NRA currently is reflective of that. It's less than 6%. This has been going on for a long time. Luckily, more and more American gun owners are finding out what the problems are so that we can get them solved.
Do you think that the group has betrayed the gun owners who are members of it?
It's not so much that the National Rifle Association has betrayed American gun owners, it's more that they have failed to meet their responsibility to American gun owners, and particularly to the members of the NRA. And this lies directly at the feet of the officers of the NRA, and sadly, many of the directors who had the best of intentions, but simply weren't doing their jobs well.
In what ways has the group failed members?
When it comes specifically to the members, what they failed to do is be good stewards of the responsibility that we've entrusted them with, representing American gun owners and fighting for our Second Amendment rights as efficiently as they could have.
The various spending that we've heard about, which of those expenditures were most egregious to you?
To me, the most egregious expenditures were the ones that were entrusted to the Ackerman McQueen firm, to be handled on the NRA's behalf with messaging and with the representation of what the American gun owner is and what the American gun owner is interested in. And that money just simply wasn't spent well, and it certainly wasn't monitored well by the board.
What do you think happened here? Was it greed? Was it laziness? What broke down?
I think what broke down was scrutiny. Very simply, the fact that we are constantly being attacked from the outside as American gun owners and as a Second Amendment movement, we got very complacent with our representation and what was supposed to be our leadership internally. And we weren't keeping a close eye on them, and they stopped doing their jobs well.
What has this done to what do you think that this has done to the reputation of the NRA and its ability to fight for positions that a lot of its members hold?
Well, sadly, the NRA's reputation has been sullied by this. And it's not just that it's been sullied on the national or international front, it's really been hurt inside of the gun community. There are many people like me who grew up with the NRA representing part of Americana, and we have a nostalgic feeling towards what the NRA is supposed to be. Sadly, it's turned out to not be that, at least not in the current generation. And that's why it's so important that American gun owners let the NRA, the leadership, and of course the donors know how important it is to reboot. We need a stronger NRA, we need a better NRA, and quite frankly, I think we deserve one.
When it comes to legislation that the NRA either pushes or blocks, do you think that in that way the NRA has also lost its way, or do you feel that it's in step with a lot of its members?
The NRA definitely has lost touch, not only with a lot of its members, but really with the vast majority of American gun owners. Remember, the membership, again, is less than 6% of American gun owners, so right away we're dealing with a small niche. That niche is now very frustrated. There are petition campaigns, there's a lot of activity on social media, there are letters being written to the directors. There's a lot of angst with the current version of the NRA because they're simply not representing the concerns of the American gun owner, and they're not representing them well because they're losing value and they're losing efficacy even on the national level. We're not sure how much influence they have at all on our behalf anymore.
How did you find out about some of this controversy initially? What did you think when you found out, for example, that LaPierre spent $300,000 on fancy suits and the like?
I've been in the industry for a long time. I've worked closely with the NRA and with a lot of the industry leadership. So the rumors and the hushed tones and the look over your shoulder before you talk about the problems at the NRA, that's been there for a long time. The scale of it is really what's been shocking. The revelations, the allegations, the lawsuits between the NRA and Ackerman McQueen, the things that some of our directors have brought to light, and even the questions that directors who really want to see positive change, the questions that they're asking and not getting answered, those have really been a shock to a lot of people. So when I see the scale of the financial malfeasance, when I see the scale of the personal indulgences, the frequency of the cronyism, that's really been incredibly disappointing, even for someone who's been critical of the NRA like me. Well, last month I was take that again. In June, an organization was formed called Save the Second. I proudly joined the board of that organization, and we've been rallying American gun owners, particularly NRA members or former NRA members, to get their voices represented to the directors. We're working very closely with other leaders in the industry and some of the NRA board members who really do want to see change happen. We're trying to get things like petition campaigns done. We're getting a lot of activity on social media, and we're trying to spread the message, particularly to the companies that support the NRA in the gun industry, that we're not happy with the current status quo. It needs to change, and if they want our support and they don't want us to start looking elsewhere for leadership on the Second Amendment movement, they're going to have to evolve.
And finally, I would imagine that one of the most disappointing things to you is the fact that because of all these, first of all, the wasteful spending, but then also the increase in legal costs, that the group had to slash funding for gun training programs by about 25% last year.
Yeah, as a firearms instructor, I recognize that the NRA is the loudest voice that we have. They have some of the best programs on the planet when it comes to fundamental firearm safety, and they are the most popular starting point for people who want a concealed carry permit to own a firearm for personal defense. The fact that they've had to slash their funding and the fact that they've removed some very influential people from the committees that oversee training on the board of directors is incredibly frustrating to me and the entire community of firearms educators.